Thanks for coming back to my channel where I talk about entrepreneurship, motivation, and cooking. And so if you're interested in that, stay tuned for this video. In this video, I want to take you on, I went to the Brown Girls Brunch series here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I want to kind of take you on that journey and kind of show you what I got out of it. It was very inspirational. Hey y'all, this is Shay. I'm going to the Girls Brunch series today. So I just want to kind of share my look. I think I look cute. So I have on this bodysuit, like a leopard print bodysuit that I got from Fashion Nova probably about 2 or 3 years ago. The pants are also from Fashion Nova 2 or 3 years ago. The shoes I got from either Macy's or Nordstrom probably about 2 or 3 years ago. But I just never really wore this. I think I wore the pants and maybe the shoes, but never the bodysuit. So yeah, and then I have gold hoops on. So yeah, so this is the outfit. I think I look cute. A little striped little pose for y'all. So I think I look cute. I also have, I'm gonna wear, it's a little chilly today. So I have my leather coat that I will wear today. This is, I got this from Nordstrom's. And I have my Tahari red bag. I rarely use this bag, but my Tahari red bag that I got, I don't know, I've probably had this for like, oh my God, for a minute now. So yeah, this is the look. Hopefully I can get some footage on the actual event itself. It's supposed to be a good workshop for entrepreneurs to connect and network. So this will be my first networking event for 2021. I didn't go to any other ones this year. So yeah, so stay tuned.
Trying to motivate, educate, and encourage brown girls into entrepreneurship. So hopefully we were able to do that with all of you today and give you a little bit.
It takes to stay in business, the fact that it takes to not give up, the trials that you get, and the help that you don't get from when you first started. So when I first started, 1996, and every other business that I opened, no one would help me, so I had to just Google my way through. So it brought me, I always have to talk about God in this because God is my true, the foundation of everything that I do. You know, trusting God, and I always tell people, like in my bio, if you believe it and you see it, you can have it.
Warehouse in Turkey, Georgia. But some of the challenges is that there are ups and downs in business and entrepreneurship. And like you said, if you don't have faith in yourself, you can really get off the rails. But there are always like major stops in business. Okay, that's why I say anybody who starts a business and wants to be an entrepreneur, you are truly touched by God. Because
when I first started my company, I was looking for a solution for my family as far as putting food on the table. I lost my job and had given up on corporate America and refused to go back. And so I'm a serialpreneur as well. My first brand is Solve Tutoring, and I drove for miles and miles and could not find affordable resources for underserved communities near Title I schools. And so I started a tutoring company that helped Black and brown children that did not have access to go to a Kumon or Mathnasium. And when the pandemic hit, I had to shift my priorities because over the weekend we had to go virtual. I had 3 brick and mortar in Metro Atlanta. And so all of a sudden we couldn't help children in person. And so we ended up going virtual, got a grant from Zoom, shifted all of our students online. But I realized at the end of the first year, I lost money because we were tutoring groups of students around tables that looked like these in person, and that's how we made money. Children were paying maybe $10 to $12 a session when they should have been paying $40 to $50. But to keep it affordable, I went back to working for myself as a painter. And so out of necessity to keep my first brand open, I picked back up a paintbrush and the pretty painter was born. Because with providing a service, there's
tendency to settle. And so if you set goals, you know what your target audience is, but it's not coming the way you want it to come. We'll just settle and just start working with anything or just picking up the pieces. So for me, I knew always I wanted to work with celebrities, I wanted to work with influencers. Originally, that's what I wanted. So I just started picking up different clients, had about 45, and there was no way if you're gonna be in entertainment that you can do 45 clients and still provide them the type of services that we do. And so I took a break, and when God called me back, after my 3-year break.
What type of services are those for people?
I do, management, PR for one company. We have a management PR firm. And so initially, we were working with entertainment. Now we work with small businesses, as well. Entrepreneurs that want to get out, and that's based on the relationships that I have. That's based on my experiences, because when you're doing business, people will take your money and then you don't get it. So that's how all of our businesses were birthed, based off the experience. You do work, and then when we get it, it's not up to our standards. So guess what, we can do this, let's start our own company. And so that's pretty much what we did. And so when I came back in 2017, I've been traveling, working, just being friends with all these different celebrities in the industry. And I got a call, like, can you get to LA? I'm looking at my husband, please come to LA. They're not saying what they want me to come for. So I always tell people, you always have to trust the process. And don't be selfish and be like, you paying my way to get there, all of that. My husband was like, book the flight, let's go, get your hotel. I show up. I knew who I was going to see, but I didn't know why. I show up, I spent a week with them. After a week, I still did not know why I was there. Went back home, and I just would start getting random calls. We're gonna be here. If you wanna come, come. I traveled with several celebrities for a year. And after a year, they started becoming my clientele. They started introducing me, because they wanted to see how committed are you to this industry? What are you willing to do? I didn't say sell yourself out, don't sell yourself out. And you have to make sure you always treat them humanly. And after a year, that's when I began to see the blessings come from the type of agency that I always wanted. This is my clientele, this is what I wanna work with. And so that's when my priorities really begin to change. Because just like you
balance family and business life.
That's funny. So, balance does not exist in the world of entrepreneurship, right? It doesn't exist. I call it juggling, and I'm a wife. I'm me first. I gotta take care of me first. I'm a woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. We have 5 children, and and we have 3 grown children, right? And then we got 2 babies still in the house, 16-year-old and 13-year-old. And I'm still like somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's best friend, right? So balance it doesn't exist. Juggling does. And prioritizing what matters. Okay? Like, I don't do any events on Saturdays because my son's way special. Okay, and even, I was like, yo, he'll be there. He wants both of his parents there, right? So I don't take anything on Saturdays. That's my juggling. I'll throw one thing up in the air and I'll make sure that, I'm there for him. Because with my 26-year-old, I work for the government, so I had a 9 to 5. That means I did absolutely nothing, okay? Okay, so I could be at everything, I didn't miss anything when it comes to him. Well, entrepreneurship, you gotta make certain sacrifices, but you gotta determine how big are those sacrifices. I would rather my son remember me in the stands, seeing when he makes
Done that we need to get done, nothing else functions. And that, my husband tells me all the time, he's like, are you good? Because if you ain't good, none of us are good. Okay, so we have to make sure that we give ourselves the utmost importance, because nothing else can run like we run. Now, our husbands can try to run, but it's not gonna run like they'll get waffles every night. Go ahead, Tanisha.
Mine's a little different. I'm single and my kids talked about priority, and you asked me about COVID. So my priorities changed with COVID. I woke up on March the 8th, and all my business was shut down. I didn't understand. I said, God, am I being punked? They just shut the whole world down. Everything is shut down. So I didn't, that was my first time ever having something. All my business, no money. Like, what am I gonna do about money? What's going on? So I was just so worried about life. I was walking. I'll never forget. I was walking one day. I tried to walk, keep helping. God told me, like, hey, you have to trust me. You have to always remember what I have done for you, and you'll know how to go. So that immediately changed my priorities. So when you said about your priorities, my priorities changed to, I'm so busy worried about everybody that I employ, worried about their families, their children, who gonna have a job, who ain't, what's gonna happen to people, and I wasn't worried about me and what I need. If you're not right, nothing can be right. So you have to worry about not just your money, your business, your health, going to the doctor. And people always like to say it's all about money. Money's not everything when you're not right. So I would say prioritize yourself. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish, but selfish in a way to worry about only you for the moment. What can you do? Because if you're messed up, jacked up, nothing is gonna be right. Like I said, in the house with your mom, when you're white, because I was married for 15 years when my kids was young, and I honor what you said about that, because I didn't do that. It was all about work. What can I do? Can I buy some Jordans? Can I do this? Can I go to the dance? I used to make my daughter dance recitals. I used to make my son basketball games, and I vowed to myself, when my daughter got in high school, I changed my trajectory on how to live in business and life, but I did it a little bit too late. So I always tell anybody that's an entrepreneur, when you have small kids, nothing should come before them. Always do whatever you can for your children, because you miss the moment. I missed my moment. I still was a good mother. My daughter, she graduated from UGA with honors. My son graduated. They have great jobs. But it still don't take away from a mother saying, hey, what boundaries do I set? So when you're an entrepreneur, you have to put your children first, and you have to put you first, so you can take care of everybody else. So that's my thing about priorities and boundaries. Because I am single, I have 2 grown kids, so now my business, for everybody, look, I can jump around, and I'm so hyped I can look around. That's why I opened 5 businesses at one time. They said, how are you going to open up a restaurant in Midtown, a restaurant in Douglasville, and a salon suite at the same time? Because that's how bad I am.
Hey! Ever enjoyed Atlanta Fashion Week before, but this is the founder of Atlanta Fashion Week. And from the looks of it, it looks like y'all love the dress in here, okay? And so I would love to hear, some of your answers to the other questions, but I also would love to know what made you start Atlanta Fashion Week, and what inspired you to do that, and how is it going now?
Well, actually 15 years ago I started it. So I get that question a lot. So it's an unexpected answer. I asked God. So I asked him to change the direction of what I would. At the time I was in the entertainment industry, music industry. So I wanted to get out of that industry and do something else, and I prayed about it. He gave me the vision.
You sound like you got a little voice. You sound like you got a little voice on you.
I wish. So I just wrote the vision down. I made it plain, and I just ran with it. I didn't look at to the left or to the right. I didn't look at the resources I had or did not have. I didn't look at the support system. I didn't look at anything but him. I kept my eyes on him. And even though I didn't see at the time, I didn't think, okay, well, this is how big it's going to be. This is my target market. I'm only going to do this industry. I'm only going to do that. My desire has always been to help people. So I wanted to come up with ways to, as well, to help people, help them start their own business, help them to get in the industry, help the community, give back to the community in ways that I can give back. So when I started it, I created a platform for people that did not have the opportunity to go to a New York Fashion Week or to participate in a New York Fashion Week. For those aspiring models, those aspiring designers, those stores, those people that needed the opportunity, they had the talent and needed the platform to showcase their talent. So that's the reason why I started it, and it just took off from there. And even today, with the priorities, I had to learn how to pivot. Not just have this, one way of doing things. I believe in, change and shifting and pivot and expanding. So that's what I began to do before the COVID pandemic. I would say this: if you put God first, He's going to tell you and give you instructions. So as long as I keep Him first, He's going to give me the wisdom. He's going to give me the understanding. He's going to show me the way. He's going to protect me and cover me. So in that, I was given the instructions before COVID hit on to go virtual, to go digital, before COVID hit. So he gave me the plans, he gave me how to do it, how to create the different digital platforms. So I was prepared before COVID hit. So when COVID hit, I was ready for the pivot. I was ready for the shift because God already gave me the blueprint. So what I believe in is, even with, what Tanisha was saying, is that focusing on yourself and, I had to learn that the hard way too, because I was a hard worker. I put everybody else first, and when I used to be in a wheelchair, 3 years ago, I was in a wheelchair. So I'm walking now, they gave up on me. So, but I had to learn in that process, because of course we go through processes and seasons for change and growth and things of that nature. So in that process, I could have gave up. I was bedridden. I had a spinal condition, so I couldn't move my arms or legs. I was in pain 24/7. So what I decided to do, because everything starts with a decision. So what I decided to do is that this is not going to be my life. Regardless if I had fashion week going on or not, I said a prayer and I prayed to God, like, I know this is not what you have for me. So give me the strength. I didn't get strength from the doctors. I didn't get strength from anything else. No medicines. Give me the strength. Get me out of this bed. Because this is not my life. This is not what you have for me. So I had to learn that in that to adapt to the change. Okay, I may be in the bed, but I'm still going to have my laptop right here and I'm still going to work. I may be in my wheelchair, but guess what? I'm rolling into that venue in the wheelchair to still do what I do. Even though I can't let anything stop you. Even though you may have a roadblock, you can go around the roadblock. It's a way around it. It's another direction. It's something that you can do. So I had to learn throughout all these years that no matter what comes up, learn how to adapt to the changes. Learn how to grow. Learn how to expand. Learn how to pivot. Learn how to listen for God. Listen to God and listen for God. Because He has the answers. I don't have the answers. I don't look to anyone else because they don't have the answers. I trust God. I don't trust men. So that's what I learned throughout my processes and my, what I do and what I
Don't bring others up. It is nothing. Even as a state representative, of course, I'm helping people all the time, but even when starting my business as a media consultant, I just knew that there needs to be more Black and brown people on TV, and not in a bad way. And so it was so important for me to start a media service where we make sure that people's products and people are commentating on TV every single day. And it is I want every woman on the panel to give us one word, not a whole 18 words, but one word that you want to lead this group of beautiful Black women. We'll start with this lovely lady.
Be present.
Wow. No, I like be present. We'll take that. Hey, glad we're being present. That's definitely the start.
I believe would be a chamber. And so when I mean be a chamber, don't let your current situation dictate what your future is.
Wow.
You be the first at everything. If no one gives you an opportunity, I always say, if you don't open the door, move out my way, I'm gonna build the estate. And once again, I'm gonna bring my sisters with me.
Come on, estate. I love you with estate.
Grace.
Wow.
You gotta give yourself grace and understanding. Please, be easy on yourself. Grace.
Wow.
I think it's never give up and believe in yourself.
Wow. Never give up. Never give up.
My word is power. Without Without power, nothing works.
Wow. And I know
I know part of the video you guys had seen where I went to the Brown Girls brunch, which was very inspirational. I felt that the panel was very good. You know, their testimonies, what they believed in, how they persevered through things, how they were adaptable to things. So as entrepreneurs, I thought that would be a good video to show you guys the Brown Girls Brunch. It was her first one. I thought she did a wonderful job. I'll leave her Instagram, the person that started that below. So I thought it was good. The speakers, as you would see, I thought that the people that had vendors there, I thought she had some good vendors there. So overall, it was a great, successful event. She's going to be doing more. So follow her so you can learn more about it. The only thing, the brunch was just okay. I'm just going to give you the pros and cons. So the pros were, it was a great event. She put it together. The women, there was some real good women that I met there and networked with. The vendors were great, but the brunch part itself needs to get a little better. The food wasn't that great, and the quantity that you got wasn't that great. So hopefully with her next one that will improve, because it is a brunch at the same time as we're getting a lot of nuggets, gold nuggets from, you know, entrepreneurs or tips and stuff like that. Since it is a brunch, we do want the food to be good, but I don't want that to discourage you at all, because it was a good event. That was just one thing that I think that can be improved. And, you know, more and more when you're doing events, I know me myself, as when I used to do a lot of events, you always learn from them and you always try to improve. So I do believe that that will improve over time. But I wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that the entrepreneur said. As I said, my channel is about entrepreneurship, my journey as an entrepreneur, things that I've learned on the way, are still practicing principles that I'm still practicing. So it was great to hear from those ladies on some of those things that I'm doing as an entrepreneur myself, or practicing some of those principles. So one thing I did want to talk about, if you're inspiring to be an entrepreneur, or that you're an entrepreneur already, is and this is probably for that entrepreneur or the person that says, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm seeking to be an entrepreneur. The first thing I would say is, as you go down this journey, and I may be looking down because I'm looking at my notes at the same time as I'm talking to you, so bear with me. You know, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? You know, it sounds fun. It sounds easy when you hear about entrepreneurs. It seems glamorous. It seems like, oh, you're going to make all this money. And some of that is true. Some of that can happen. Some of that, you know, you are going to, but the sow you see, the seed that you sow, that you will reap the benefits from it. But there's also ebbs and flows to being an entrepreneur. So one thing is, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Is it just like the lady in the testimony said, for education? She wanted to give people the opportunity that weren't able to afford tutors that may be 30 to 40,000 a year. So she did it for half. So she went for a need in the community. So do you want to be an entrepreneur because you want to give something back to the community that you're really passionate about? Or is it that you're problem solving something like she did? She pretty much was problem solving something for people that can't afford maybe a tutor at such an extensive price, but you want to get that parent may want to get the same type of things for their daughter or son, their child, the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same opportunities, right? The same value for it. So with that, she started something, there was a need. Or do you have a gift, just a God-given gift, and it's really thirsting you inside and you want to share that with, you know, the world? You know, you're a singer, you're an entertainer, you're a great chef, you have this great, you're a great dancer, seamstress, whatever it is, that gift, you're good, you know, a preacher or a pastor or motivational speaker, whatever it is, you have a God-given gift and you want to pursue that, you know? Or are you just tired of your job and tired of corporate America and you want to, you know, you have this something inside that there's more to your life or your purpose, or and you don't feel that you're being fulfilled in what you're doing or what your purpose is. So after you figure out kind of, you know, or do you enjoy something so much, you're so passionate about it that that's what you want to do all day. I mean, that's just your dream, that's your passion. This is what you want to do. For me to be an entrepreneur, I just knew at a young age, once I got out of college, I worked in corporate America, and I was working in corporate America while I was in college. I worked for the bank. It's Bank of America now, but back then it was the nation's bank. See, first, you know, it's transitioned or merged over years. And once I really realized that in corporate America, or this is my experience, you know, everybody's experience is different, but this was my experience, that it's not your skill level, it's more if they like you and you fit, you know? And I'm saying anywhere you go, people have to like you, but it was more about that than my skill level and what my pay grade was and how will I move up. You know, it was more politics on how I'm going to move up this ladder. And so you kind of have my destiny in your hands. And I didn't like that. That wasn't my personality. I wanted to be more freer and have my own destiny, make my own money, my own way of doing things. I wanted to be my own boss. And so that wasn't for me. With that, when you work for corporate America, at first, yes, do you have more security? Yes, do you have maybe you might have a retirement plan or whatever their benefits are, or you may have a check that comes every 2 weeks. And so that works great for people. But for me, I was willing to take some of the ebbs and flow and the risk of maybe not having some of those creature comforts or some of those comforts, because at the end, I felt that I would have more freedom as being an entrepreneur. And that was one of the best decisions that I made in my 20s, right when I got out of college, about 21, 22, is to work on becoming an entrepreneur. And now that I'm older, that was the best thing I could do, because now I have financial freedom. I'm my own boss. I make my own destiny, my own rules. I'm comfortable. Now, was that always the case? No, I had to hustle, bustle. I lost a lot. I struggled a lot, but at the end, as I say, and I'm still growing, I'm still going through this. I learned a lot on my way and on my journey, and I'm still learning, but it was the best decision that I made. I can wake up when I want to. I can make my own decisions. I say how much I want to make. You see what I'm saying? Yes, do I have clients and I have to fulfill them and make them happy? But I'm not punching the clock on anybody. No one's telling me you were 15 minutes late today. No one's telling me this is all you're going to get is a 3% raise this year, or we're not doing raises this year. I make those decisions for myself. Yes, do I have to go out here and hustle for clients? Yes, do I have to go out here and make my clients happy, or purchase orders for Divine Cuisine or whatever it is? If it's my accounting clients, to my hope, making sure that my products are available. Yes, do I have to have startup money? Yes, do I have to maybe sacrifice certain things or maybe not have as much at certain times in my life? Yes, all that had to happen. But where I'm at now is that I'm more freer, I feel, than having to bustle and hustle in traffic every morning, or whatever that may be. Or you're telling me if I don't do this, then I won't have this job, So me as an entrepreneur, I feel it's part of my purpose, my destiny, and God-given to me, right? So once you figure out that, because you can't go on it just about the money, because the money will come, but there's going to be other foundational things that you're going to have to do before the money starts coming in. And you're going to learn, you're going to fail. And as we listen to other people that are really big, that have succeeded, they will tell you that. So once you learn that, which I thought that was, that's just my part. But one of the things that all the ladies on the panel said is God, right? They all mentioned God, and they all said that he was in the forefront, and he has to be in the forefront. You have to have that oneness with him, You have to be able to hear from him, because he's going to be the one that's going to guide you. He's going to be the one that's going to help you with your faith, right? And I know some people will be like, well, what do you mean by that? Oneness with God, or I am a Christian, or I believe in God. But excuse me, but what does that actually mean? Oneness with God. So what it means to me is really have a relationship with him. And I know we hear that all the time. You have to have this relationship with God, right? And everybody's relationship is going to be different. But you got to know that Bible. You can't just go to church and listen to your preacher, or on TV and listen to your spiritual leaders, right? That's good. You need that. You need to commune with others like-minded like you, other Christians, or whatever your belief is. I'm a Christian, but whatever your belief is, if you're Muslim, Jewish, whatever it is, or you believe in a higher whatever it is, you have to be able to know him for yourself, know God for yourself. And how you do that is you listen to your pastors or your spirituals, but you get into that Bible and you read that Bible. You may be like, well, I don't really understand the Bible. When I'm reading the Bible, I don't understand the these, the. What are they talking about? I don't really understand that. And one, there's no excuse these days, because they have all types of translations. You can go on the internet. The internet is vast and tells you everything, right? So you can go on the internet and you can kind of understand, like, what does this verse mean, or what does this mean, right? And it should be able to give you some type of interpretation. But more than that, when I really wanted to understand the Bible, when I first got my Bible, and I prayed to God and I said, God, help me to understand these words. Help me understand what this is saying. And so if you pray that and you ask that and you ask God, help me understand, I'm reading this, but I don't understand it, he will give it to you. Because I couldn't believe that after that, I really started understanding what I was reading, right? And then another thing, prayer. Praying. Now, God gave us how to start the prayer, right? Everybody knows the prayer. But you can still go to God, get in that quiet place, that meditational place, and just start talking to him and saying, God, this is what I desire. You're saying that you want me to. I'll say some of the things that I would say. God, I have this, and you're telling me, I feel it in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and the numbers are looking like this, or the followers are looking like this, or my bank account is looking like this, I need you to guide me and show me and help me on what I'm supposed to be doing. And you have to continually pray that, right? Continually to pray that. Then you'll start you'll start hearing from him. I know people say, what does that mean to hear from him? God talks to you in different ways to who you are. He may come to you in dreams. And when you get those dreams, you need to wake up and you need to write it down and try to figure out what God is saying to you. He may whisper it to you. You may even hear a little voice in your head or in your ear, or you may feel it. The biggest one is you may feel it, an insider, feel something, right? How you say, for example, we always say this, I should have made that left turn. Something told me to make that left turn, but I went right and now I'm late for work, or I got in an accident, or whatever happened. That's God speaking to you. So you got to listen to that insight, that spirit within you, right? So that's how you know. So when you're praying for him, and then you're going to get thoughts in your mind like, okay, I need to write this down because I just have this feeling, or I just have this where I need to write this down and I need to start working on that. Or you'll meet somebody and they'll be saying something that you were thinking, right? So really try to get in tune with him. And the only way I can say get in tune with him is pray. Well, I don't really know how to pray, ain't really known how to pray. Just go to him and open up and just say, Heavenly Father, or whatever you call him. And just start saying, this is what I need from you. This is what I'm looking for. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Always giving your gratitude. And he will start talking to you and you'll start feeling closer to him. And then another thing, as the ladies were talking about God and God was giving them the blueprint, or God was walking them through it, or God, whatever, right? That is one of the keys as being an entrepreneur. But also with faith. You got to believe, and you got to have faith as a mustard seed. You really do, because, you'll have so many people telling you, how can you, that just sounds unrealistic, or where's the money coming from? Do you have good credit? Or what is the, you'll hear all the negativity about something, and it may even look bleak at the time. You may be like, well, am I really this good at whatever it is you want to do? Am I a good cook? Am I a good sewer? Am I a good singer? Am I a good writer? Whatever it is, right? You start second guessing yourself. Am I this? Am I that? Right? Because they can't see what is for you, right? Or they can't see it for you. So so you start believing that. You always, when you're walking through your journey, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to have a positive mindset. You can't listen to, I don't have enough money. How can I do this? I have 2 kids. I have a husband to take care of. Where's the money coming from? Where? You can't listen to that. You have to have faith. So you're praying. You know what your goal is for this, or why you're doing this. And then you have that faith. But faith works is, if you don't have faith and you're not working towards it, it's dead, right? So you got to keep moving, right? So faith is one thing, right? It gives you the hope. It gives you the belief. But at the same time, faith without works is dead, right? So you got to work. You got to keep moving. You got to keep pushing. Because as you're moving, God is working, right? So let's say you're a playwright. While you're writing that play down and you're writing it and you're getting your people together, God's going to get the people to come to you for that. While you're doing your sauces, or while I was doing my sauces, God was getting the favor for me to get into a store, or people to want to order, or people to come to my team, right? So while you're doing your part and you're sowing your seed, God is going to help you water that seed, right? So you got to have faith. You got to keep moving, and you got to have a positive mindset when you are going to be an entrepreneur. And I'll give you a story, one of my stories. For like example, when my assistant came on, and I have 2 people on my team right now that are just regularly on my team, not people I outsource. And one is my assistant, and one is my web girl. She does all my emails and keeps up my website and things of that nature. I didn't know how I was going to pay them. I didn't know how I was going to be able to continue to pay. I didn't have this big budget for employees or people to come on, right? But I said, God, I need this. It's growing. I need somebody to help me with the website and do my emails. I can't do everything, or I need an assistant to help me with whatever she helps me with, right? To help me do ads, to help me filing, just being my assistant on what I need. I wrote down, I think that this is probably what I can pay them or whatever. But did I have this budget at the time? No, but I walked on faith, and I have never missed a payment since, right? I'm able to pay the people that work for me. But if I wouldn't have walked on faith, then I would have been like, oh, I don't have enough money. I just have enough money to pay my bills, or I just have this. Then I wouldn't be growing. I wouldn't have had these people to help me to grow. I wouldn't have been able to put these foundations that I'm building for my business. So sometimes you just really have to walk on faith and believe. And then 3, adaptability, how the woman we're talking about, you have to be flexible and adaptable. You got to move with ebbs and flows when you're an entrepreneur, because you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. And that's just in any business. The Fortune 500 companies have ebbs and flows, right? January comes in and they may pivot. Then second quarter or first quarter, right? You may pivot. Second quarter, you're kind of here. Third quarter, you go up more. And fourth quarter, then it comes back. So it's always ebbs and flows, but you have to be adaptable. Most businesses that are not adaptable do not exist today, because the world doesn't work like that. We have to be adaptable. If you're still on the horse and buggy thing, and we have cars now, you're not being adaptable, and you're not going to be able to go with the ebbs and flows of this world. We're in a digital world now, right? So you need to keep your technology up. You need to be able to do that. So when you get opportunities, I got that credit card swipe, or I can invoice you where you can pay right there on the invoice, or I got the emails or the internet or whatever you can do, or I have a website where you can see my products that I'm trying to sell, or e-commerce store. Or yes, I'm in stores, but I have everything for the labeling. So if I get the opportunity to be in stores, yes, I have everything that needs to be on my label, from my barcode to my ingredients to whatever they ask for, right? Yes, I'm ready to ship out. Yes, I have a shipping account. So all that has to be in place, right? But you have to adapt to wherever we're at in the world and what the world's doing. Yes, I have Apple Pay now, or yes, I accept PayPal, or whatever it is, right? So make sure that you can be able to be adaptable. Like the lady said, okay, we're in a pandemic now. What do? Do I go virtual, or does everything shut down? A lot of people, like I have a lot of restaurants I work for. So when the pandemic came and we had to shut down, or they couldn't come sit down in the restaurant, they quickly went over to, okay, let's start getting these accounts with Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash. So they started getting it with these. So, okay, you can't come in, we'll deliver to you. But they made that quick, because that's where we're at in the world. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to be quick like that, quick like that. Okay, I can't have these many people coming into the restaurant. And if I don't have a drive-through, but I still need to get my product out to them. So don't just always be, I wrote it down and it's this one way, and if it doesn't go this way, I can't change. That's just in life. We always have to be flexible. Yes, we have a plan. Yes, we do it. Things happen. You may have a meeting today at 2:00. Something happens where that meeting, you can't do that meeting. You can't do it. You can't let that get you off. You got to go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow, right? And so that's very important when you're being an entrepreneur, to be able to adapt to change, go with the change. Don't get too disappointed if something's not working or something's not coming the way you want it to. You still go with it. And do not settle. Number 4, do not settle. Like the lady was saying about the PR, she didn't settle. She knew what she wanted. She knew what her vision was. She wanted to work for celebrities. She wanted to be a PR. She wanted to, work with celebrities, be their, PR for celebrities and things of that nature. And she did not settle. And you cannot settle, because you're going to hear, just because it's not going this way or going that way, you don't know, your next opportunity could be around the corner. It's like, for example, I was listening to Steve Harvey one time, and he said I think he had his last money. I don't know how much it was, but whatever it was, he had his last dollar, and he had to make it to this, I think it was the Apollo, and he had to make it there, and he barely had any gas money, didn't have nothing, but he had to get to this gig, and all these things happened, trials and tribulations on the way to the Apollo. But he made it there. He got there in the 9th hour. That was really what opened the door to his career. Steve Harvey could have said, and we know who he is today, right? But he could have said, I ain't got the money. My car's broken down. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the gig. Just forget it. Just forget it. Then we wouldn't know him as he is, right? So do not settle. Keep going for that vision. Yeah, I heard about Tyler Perry. His mom told him, I seen an interview, you just need to give up this this play thing that you're doing and go work for the utility company, because that's a good paying job. You could go down there, work for the utility company, and you know, you won't be having all this problems with money and da-da-da. If Tyler would have stayed with that and he just would have said, okay, fine, you know what? This is not working. Barely no one's coming to the shows. I'm barely making the shows. I'm barely being able to pay my actors that are working with me. I'm barely able to do anything. I'm just going to go and get that job at the utility company. We wouldn't know Tyler Perry today. We wouldn't know Meet the Browns today. We wouldn't know Tamla Man. You see what I'm saying? So some of these people he brought on with him, that they were already doing things out there. Don't get me wrong. But he blessed them just as he was blessed, right? Or if Oprah Winfrey would have believed, oh, this black woman may be overweight. She's not looking like the ideal person on TV. How could she be better than, you know, and she wants to come when Donahue's on, and Donahue was the big guy back then. But if she didn't go and she didn't persevere to that, she wouldn't be Oprah Winfrey as we know today. So all I'm saying with that is never settle. Don't settle on your vision. If you deeply feel that this was God given to you and you deeply feel this is your purpose, it's nothing more rewarding than knowing what your purpose is in this life. So if you feel this is your purpose as to be an entrepreneur, if you feel this is what you should be doing, whatever that may be, helping people in the community, you know, being a pastor, or, you know, just like me, I do accounting for small businesses, but I also do Divine Cuisine, and I enjoy that. I feel that's my purpose for Divine Cuisine to one day be a national brand, right? So I feel that's my purpose, and I'm not going to settle. I'm going to keep going, keep perfecting, keep doing, keep building that foundation. So do not settle on anything. And the last thing I want to talk about is balance. You know, the young ladies were talking about balance, you know, balancing if you have children, balancing if you have a husband, making sure that you're always taking care of yourself. And I believe that, because as an entrepreneur, we definitely have to take balance, because you can work, because you're striving to try to get to this place, right? But you have to realize, as you're striving to get to this place, that it's not all about just getting to this dream, to a perspective, because God's going to give it to you. He's going to give you all you desire. You're going to get it because you're moving towards it. You're working towards it. You're praying. You're being adaptable. You know where you're supposed to be going. So it's going to happen for you, right? But have the balance of your family. You know what I mean? Family is very important. And I had to learn how important that was. It's not always about money. It's not always about that. But really having those relationships, those friends, and that family in your life. Make time for them. Like the lady said, she makes time for her son and goes to her son's basketball games. Make time for your friends and your family, because at the end of the day, when you make it to this plateau, you want them to be on the journey with you, right? You want to be able to have good friends. You want to be able to have family, because family is your legacy, right? So at the end of the day, you're building a legacy. You may be building this, and this will be part of it financially, or part of that can move on. But your legacy is your seed, right? So your family, your children, your parents, your friends, you need to enjoy that, because that's really important in life. You know, when you get older and you reflect back on it, you know, your relationships. You could have all the money in the world, and a lot of people have it and they're miserable. But the ones that aren't are the ones that, yes, you're comfortable, and everybody wants to be comfortable and be doing what they love and their purpose. But when you have good family and friends around, when the holidays come and your birthdays come, or you go on vacations, or memories you make, or children, you know, that you have, like she said, have those relationships with your children, you know. So when you get older, or when you have strive, that is there too in your grandchildren, right? So that is really important to always make time, balance where you can. Like she said, sometimes we'll put it together and we'll try to balance us first. Like, you do have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of anybody else or even your business? So you have to take care of yourself so you can stay healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? But once you're doing that, and that is mentally, I'm saying have good vibes and good thoughts. Your body, take care of it, exercise, put good food in it, and spiritually pray. Pray, become oneness, meditate, and always try to stay balanced the best way you can, so you can be strong and have a strong foundation. So when you go out here and you give to your children, you give to your husband, you give to your business, that you can do it and you can be balanced in that way. Yes, you'll have a routine. Maybe you get up, you work out, you pray, you take the kids off to school, you do whatever your husband needs, and then you do your work or your business or whatever it is. That's pretty much trying to be balanced, right? But in that, just always know you may have to juggle this, you may have to turn this. But after everything is accomplished and you're being an entrepreneur, like she said, the other lady said, I miss some of those special moments with my children. And you don't want to miss those moments. You don't want to miss those moments with your parents. You don't want to miss it with your children or your friends. So as I close today, I just thought that this would be a great segment for you to see the Brown Girls Brunch, which I really enjoyed. And then I would just want to, as I'm talking, my channel is about entrepreneurship, motivation, and cooking. And I thought this would be a great way to open the dialogue, because, we're getting ready to go into 2022. And I'll have more dialogues like this. But I thought, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, or if you're an entrepreneur, this is some of the things this is some of the fundamental or foundational things that you need if you're going to be successful. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the end of for the next segment of this video. I have a great recipe. It's a turkey tenderloin with a mushroom gravy. Must see, must make. Subscribe, leave your comments. If you like this video, if you want me to talk about anything else, if you have any questions or anything, so like, subscribe. Until I see you guys again, fam, I love you. Hey y'all, Chef Shay, and today I thought it would be good, since the holidays are coming, to do a turkey tenderloin. This is another option, like if you don't want to do a whole turkey, or if it's just you and your husband, or a small gathering of friends and family at the house, or just you. This is another way to enjoy Thanksgiving with some turkey. So what is turkey tenderloin? Turkey tenderloin is, you think of like chicken tenders, how it doesn't have the bone in it. So it's white meat, but it doesn't have the bone, like even if you bought like a turkey breast that has the bone in it. So it's real quick, real easy to make. I'm gonna do a mushroom gravy. So stay tuned for another way that you can enjoy turkey at Thanksgiving, or even just as for dinner on other nights. So now we're gonna mix our seasoning. So this is garlic powder. And this is real simple. We got a little onion powder. My favorite, seasoned pepper. You don't need a lot of ingredients. Salt, I use kosher salt. And some sage. I have ground sage, but you can use fresh sage as well. And then we're just gonna mix all this together. And this will be the seasoning that will go on our turkey tenderloins. 2 tenderloins, because I said like this could be for you or a small party. So we're gonna take some of that seasoning that I had earlier, and we're gonna rub it on our turkey like so. And you can do this ahead of time, and marinate it. On our turkey. like so, and you can do I'm gonna put some fresh garlic in here. And then we have our 2 turkey tenderloins. And we're just gonna brown these. We're not gonna cook them all the way. I put a little bit of grapeseed oil in there, but you can use olive oil or, you know, whatever type of oil that you like. We're gonna throw a couple thyme sprigs in here. I'm gonna take some off of the stem. This gives it a little more earthiness and freshness, just like we have the sage. So put a little bit of that. And thyme always goes good with poultry, with chicken and turkey and things of that nature. Okay, so we're gonna flip them over so you see how they're nice and brown, but they're not fully cooked. I just want them to brown them. I'm gonna let them cook a little bit on this side, and then we're gonna take them out and we're gonna make a gravy. And then we'll put them back in. Okay, so now they've kind of browned on both sides a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove them. And now we're gonna make the gravy, and this is going to, now we're gonna make the gravy. So this is gonna be part of our seasoning for the gravy to flavor our gravy, all the drippings and everything from that turkey tenderloin. So now I have a bouillon cube, and you can use vegetable. This is a chicken one, but you can use vegetable or whatever. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of butter in here. Turn down my heat a little bit. And put this to season. Get all that goodness off the bottom. Getting all them scraping. And then we're gonna take some flour. About 2 to 3 tablespoons or teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. And we're gonna put this around slowly until it starts browning. Getting that nice cocoa color or light brown color. Beef broth, chicken broth, any kind of broth, you can put that in there, but I had the bouillon cube and I had the flavoring. So now I'm gonna put some water in. I'm gonna whisk all this. We don't want any lumps. We're gonna keep stirring and stirring. A little bit of sweet chili sauce in here just to bring out a little bit of the balance. It won't get it real sweet, but just a little tad. I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoned pepper. And did a tad bit of salt after I tasted it. Stir it around. I'm taking, put the turkey back in here and let it cook on medium-high heat until it gets all nice and tender. We're gonna put some mushrooms in here. I have baby bellas. So I'm gonna put some baby bellas. I'm gonna put some parsley in here in a little bit, but right now. Get this all in here. Nicely cooking. And we're gonna put the top on and let it simmer for a while. Y'all, so it's done now. The turkey is tender. I love the portobello mushrooms. It smells good. So yeah, this was easy. And it's gonna be good. I know. I just can't wait to taste. Wait for the review at the end. Okay, y'all, so we finished our turkey tenderloin with the mushroom gravy sauce, and I made some rice to go with it. Just like I said, this would be a good meal. You know, if you had friends over and you didn't want to do a whole turkey or anything, you can make this, and it's the white meat. So I'm gonna taste it. Okay, it's good. I'm gonna go in front of the mic. So the turkey is really tender. It's really moist. It's tender. It's moist in your mouth. The gravy is the right consistency with the mushrooms. This will be good also with like some dressing if you just like to do dressing or sweet potatoes. I just had some rice. Like I said, you could even do this for just a weeknight dinner. You could do this as a weeknight dinner, or you know, like you have your dressing, your sweet potatoes, you can do it. It was really moist, it's really good. So to get this recipe for a different way to do turkey this year with an easier way and quicker way, go to divinecuisine.com and don't forget to subscribe.